as soon as you're comfortable with using partitions for subtraction and you're using the column method, the next step is the standard method. So you might have, for example, 56 and you're going to subtract 23. No need for partitions. You will need your tens and your units, and you've got in 56 your 5 tens and 6 units. In 23 you've got 2 tens and 3 units. You remember your subtraction sign. 6 subtract 3, well, that gives you 3. 5 subtract 2, that gives you 2. Sorry, that gives you 3, giving you an answer of 33. 3 tens, 3 units, 33. There's one example. We can see the same again with the following example of 94 subtract 41. We have our tens and our units. 94, 41. 4 subtract 1. Nice and simple. 9 subtract 4. Nice and simple, and that will give you 53. You notice I haven't had to borrow at this point, so let's have a look at this method but with borrowing. Borrowing is when you've got a number in the top half that is smaller than the bottom half. So let's look at, for example, 54 subtract 19. So we have our tens, we have our units, we've got 54, we've got 19, and we're subtracting. Now you can see straight away 4 subtract 9. We go back to the sweets. I've got 4 sweets in my hand. Can I take 9 away? No, I can't. So I can't. The bottom number is bigger, so I borrow. I'm going to borrow from here. The 5, I take 1 away from there. 1 10 leaves me with 4 tens. I put the 10 across here. I've now got 14. 14 subtract 9. Well, that we can do, and we're left with 5. 4 subtract 1, and we are left with 3, giving us an answer of 35. So there's one example of borrowing. We'll have another look at borrowing with 81, and this time we're going to subtract 26. So we have our tens and our units column. We've got 81, we've got 26. Again, 1 subtract 6. I've got 1 sweet. Can I eat 6? No, I can't. But what I can do is I can borrow from my 8 tens, leaving me with 7 tens, and move the 10 across here to make it 11. Now 11 subtract 6. That's going to leave us with 5. 7 subtract 2. That's going to leave us with 5. That leaves us with an answer of 55. So that's how we will be needing to borrow. Now let's have a look at how this standard method works with the hundreds, tens and units. So we've got 148. We're going to subtract 39. So this time we need our hundreds, tens and units columns. 148 subtract 0 hundreds and 39. 8 subtract 9, that's going to be a problem. The bottom number is bigger, so I borrow from my 4 tens. I've got 3 tens left. I move 1 over. I've got 18. 10 and 8, 18. 18 subtract 9, that leaves me with 9. 3 tens subtract 3 tens, 0 tens. 100 subtract 0 hundreds, 100, giving me an answer of 109. And we'll just see that in one more example. You often find when you get into the hundreds that borrowing becomes more frequent. Let's have a look here. 154, for example, and we'll subtract 78. Again, I remember my hundreds column. 154, I'm going to subtract 0 hundreds and 78. Can I have 4 sweets and give away 8? No, the bottom number is bigger, so I will make the 4 bigger by borrowing from the 5 tens. If I borrow one of those, I'm left with 4 tens. The other 10 turns 4 into 14, 10 and 4. 14 subtract 8, 6. 4 subtract 7. Can I do that? No, I can't. So I'm going to borrow from my hundreds. I borrow 100. I'm left with 0 hundreds. I bring my 100 over here. I've got 14 tens, and I'm going to subtract 7 tens. Nice and simple, that gives us 76. 0 subtract 0, 0 gives us an answer of 76. So that's the standard method of subtraction with columns.